This is some raw video footage of my work for Contemporary Context, Part 4, Art Textiles. Now, I started off with a sketchbook where I started to research for my art textiles, and this was a continuation from the trend themes of a photograph of the Dior exhibition, which I titled Opulent Inventor. Now, during my research, I've just compiled together imagery that I consider to be opulent. At this point, I've not known what direction the assignment is going to go, or what colour palette will come from this assignment, but I'm using all my skills to generate some ideas for samples and start to consider what opulent art is. As we can see, the progress of the sketchbook starts to put together a lot of ideas that I get stimulated by. Tutors do like to see my samples and sketchbooks because they're full of lots of information, and I do like to generate possibly too many samples, which then I find very, very difficult to refine and focus on one idea, which I am really trying. We can see that there are elements of learning experiences in the sketchbook to do with colour, and this became very exciting as I wanted to generate something a little bit different with my colour proportions for Opulent Inventor. Try and think of a different colour palette. Then I've started to play with some mixed media to generate some samples that would describe opulent invention, quite abstract, and could possibly be pieces of art on their own. I've also started to play around with collage, various little tags for opulent invention, things that could be opulent and things that are also, a form of invention. Then, continuing with the assignment, I did some collage drawings, keeping them very abstract, using materials of influence with colour palettes, pattern cutting paper to resemble, a fashion designer such as Christian Dior. And these could possibly almost be fabric-like samples that I'd considered. I'd also started to play around with continuation of colour palette, and didn't really favour any particular colour palettes as of yet, but just really enjoyed sourcing materials, playing with colour proportion. I still continued with taking lots of photographs. As mentioned before in previous videos, I think it's important to use them as evidence. Here I played with some opulent sculpture, and this proved very successful with my tutor, and I wish now, on reflection, looking back at the assignment, I made a big mistake on not pushing some of these ideas, as basically the sculpture work that I'd made was very opulent, and it kind of spoke volumes for itself, and they were little pieces of art in their own right. So I do deeply regret not pushing this idea. During the assignment, I continued with more sketchbook work and took on board what my tutor had previously said to me about I must consider and start to refine my ideas. So the sketchbooks do progress with pushing and refining some of the ideas, and what these ideas did do, they started to conclude and put together with the drawings some suggested samples for opulent art. And as we can see, these samples that I produced, I try to resemble opulent fabrics with the shine, silks, satins, and the little wooden figurines were a representation of the exhibition for the Dior dolls. And we can see here I just put together some opulent art of my own, and some more